On the question of what they've done to deserve the kind of abuse they get from the newspapers, do we know? Do you know?
In terms of the abuse they get from the newspapers will pick up on anything just for sales.
Yeah, but they haven't done that to Kate Middleton. So why have they done it to this pair?
I mean, they were quite ruthless with Kate Middleton.
They weren't quite ruthless. They poked a little bit of fun at her for not having a job, and they reported on the snobbery that she encounters in aristocratic circles because her mother was an air hostess. But they certainly didn't sort of doorstep her dad in the hope of getting him to say disgusting things about his own daughter. They didn't pay money to estranged family members from profoundly dysfunctional backgrounds. I mean, they went after Meghan Markle in a way that I can't actually think of. I'd compare it perhaps to Britney Spears or Lily Allen. It was just quite. So do we know what they did wrong in the first place?
It's like your best friend marrying somebody who's totally dominated him. And
where do you get this? So there we go. That's something I've read in newspapers written by ignorant people. Where are you getting your information from?
Newspapers. This is my own conclusion.
So what's it based on? The idea that she totally dominates him. How did you arrive at that conclusion? When did you arrive at that conclusion?
Pretty early on.
Okay. And what was the evidence for it?
Deviation from royal protocol, I would think.
No, the evidence for her totally dominating him.
By Harry deviating from royal protocol.
For example?
I mean, for example, the photographs that would normally be expected after the birth.
Pardon?
Photographs that would normally be expected of a new birth of a
photographs
baby,
of the baby she'd just given birth to.
Which has happened in every case previously.
Yes, but you're talking about her dominating him. So you think he would have wanted to do it differently and she didn't let him with the photographs of the baby that she'd just given birth to? And you said it was pretty much from the start. No. You told me she dominates him. That's got nothing to do with royal protocol. He finds royal protocol presumably considerably more restrictive than she does because he's lived with it all his life. So where are you getting this evidence from that she totally dominates him? Because I've seen it a lot, particularly from people denying that their negativity is in any way racist. It's all to do with how pushy she is. So show me, because I can't see it at the moment.
It's to do with how pushy she is.
That's what I said. So where's the evidence?
Prince Harry was the kind of the saviour of the royal family. He's the shining star.
Yes. Where's the evidence that she, quote, totally dominates him, end quote? Because that's offensive to both of them.
The fact that in such a short time he's changed so completely.
Well, we all change when we fall in love, particularly with people that make us want to be better than we were before we met them. So again, the evidence that she completely dominates. Just one little example before we bid farewell and you step back from national radio. Where's the evidence that she completely dominates him?
Well, just the statement from yesterday that they want to step back from royal life.
But where's the evidence that she completely dominates him, Steve?
Well, that is the evidence.
No, it isn't. That's the evidence that they want to step back from royal life.
Would there be?
Would there be? Steve, you just told me the reason. They want to step back from royal life. You told me she completely dominates him, and I want to know. And I suggested that you might just have swallowed that line from ignorant journalism. You were adamant that you hadn't, so you must have. No. So where does it come from?
No. Unlike you.
Yeah. So
I've got experience.
You've got loads of experience. So where's the evidence that she completely dominates him?
You have no experience.
I've got no idea about anything. That's why I'm asking you. Where's the evidence that she completely dominates him?
Because of the statement from yesterday. There's no other possible explanation.
Well, apart from the fact that they want to step back from public life. That's the other possible explanation. So you need to just give me one little nugget of because not least because you said it was obvious from the start, and now you're saying it's been obvious since yesterday. So leaving that embarrassment aside.
No.
Oh, yes. I was here. I was listening. You said it's been obvious from the start. So what is it based on? Your conclusion that she completely dominates him, Steve?
The complete change in his personality.
Crikey! So you've known him all his life.
Sorry?
You've known him all his life.
What's all of his life got to do with the statement?
To be able to observe a complete change in his personality. I don't know if his personality has changed at all. When did you first meet him?
So you've grown up.
No, it's a simple question. When did you first meet him?
I haven't met him.
But his personality has completely changed, and you're not basing that on anything you've read in the newspapers. So where are you getting it from? Where are you getting it from?
I've followed him since he was born, as you probably.
Well, I hope you haven't. There's laws against that sort of thing. But where is the evidence? A, that his personality has completely changed, and B, that she completely dominates
You're talking about something that you know nothing about.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking you.
My experience from working within a royal family.
Have you worked within a royal family, Steve? You should have mentioned it.
When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced their decision to step back as senior royals, it sent shockwaves through royal watchers and the British media. Among the many discussions sparked by their announcement was an unforgettable exchange on LBC between host James O'Brien and a caller named Steve from Bedford. Steve's claimed that Meghan Markle dominated Prince Harry. But as James skillfully peeled back the layers of this argument, it became clear how baseless these accusations were and how they reflected broader societal issues. Steve called into James O'Brien's show with confidence, declaring that Harry's behavior and decisions were evidence of Meghan's domination. To him, it was obvious from the start, claiming that her influence was akin to a friend marrying someone who completely takes over their life. However, as James pressed for concrete examples to support this perspective, Steve's argument quickly unraveled. When asked how he could deduce Meghan's alleged dominance, Steve pointed to their joint statement about stepping back from royal duties. According to him, the statement proved she was in control. James, unfazed, asked Steve to specify what, in the statement or in Meghan's behavior, demonstrated dominance. Steve's response: silence. No specific examples, just an insistence that it was clear, to anyone paying attention. This was where James turned the conversation into a broader critique of how narratives about public figures, particularly women, are constructed and perpetuated without evidence. James O'Brien didn't stop at Steve's inability to justify his claims. Instead, he pivoted to explore the roots of such opinions, pointing directly at the British tabloid press. Since Meghan Markle entered the royal scene, she has been the subject of relentless media scrutiny, often portrayed as a manipulative outsider who led Harry astray. This narrative starkly contrasts with how other royals, particularly those born into the family, are treated. For instance, when Prince William and Kate Middleton made decisions that set boundaries around their private lives, they were lauded as modern and forward-thinking. Yet Harry and Meghan's similar moves were framed as rebellious and selfish. This double standard, as O'Brien pointed out, reveals deeper biases that color the way people like Steve interpret the couple's actions. A significant part of the hostility Meghan faces stems from her background. As an American, biracial woman, and former actress, she represents a break from the traditional mold of British royalty. James highlighted how these elements made Meghan an easy target for those resistant to change within the monarchy. He argued that much of the criticism of Meghan isn't about her actions but about what she represents, a modern, independent woman who refuses to fit the rigid expectations of her role. This resistance to conforming is often misconstrued as manipulation or dominance, particularly in the context of a traditional institution like the royal family. James also pointed out that Meghan's treatment echoes historical patterns of how women, and especially women of color, are vilified when they dare to step outside societal norms. From being blamed for tensions within the royal family to being accused of overshadowing other members, Meghan has faced a barrage of unfounded accusations, much like the ones Steve voiced on the call. Another key point James raised during his exchange with Steve was the erasure of Prince Harry's agency. By framing Meghan as the dominant force, critics like Steve imply that Harry is incapable of making his own decisions. This infantilization of Harry not only undermines his intelligence and maturity but also ignores his well-documented struggles with the press and the institution of monarchy long before Meghan entered his life. Harry has been vocal about the toll the media took on his mental health and how it contributed to his mother's tragic death. His decision to prioritize his family's well-being and leave the toxic environment of royal life was a continuation of his long-standing desire to protect those he loves. As James pointed out, attributing these choices solely to Meghan is both reductive and disrespectful to Harry. James O'Brien didn't just dismantle Steve's argument, he used it as a springboard to address the broader issues at play. He urged listeners to critically examine the narratives they consume and question their own biases. Why is Meghan so often portrayed as the villain? Why are Harry's choices dismissed as the result of manipulation? And why are other royals not held to the same standard? James emphasized that this kind of vilification has real consequences, not just for Meghan and Harry but for society as a whole. It perpetuates harmful stereotypes, reinforces systemic inequalities, and normalizes the dehumanization of public figures. By the end of the call, it was clear that Steve's argument had crumbled under James's scrutiny. But more importantly, the conversation served as a reminder of the importance of challenging unfounded claims and standing up for fairness and empathy. James's defense of Meghan and Harry wasn't just about debunking one caller's opinion, it was about pushing back against the larger cultural forces that enable such narratives to flourish. In doing so, he encouraged his audience to think critically, question their assumptions, and strive for a more compassionate society. The exchange between James O'Brien and Steve from Bedford is more than just a memorable radio moment, it's a microcosm of the larger debates surrounding Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and the British royal family. It highlights the power of media narratives, the persistence of societal biases, and the need for voices like James's to challenge these forces. As the Sussexes continue to carve out their path, they remain a lightning rod for controversy and criticism. But conversations like this one remind us of the importance of looking beyond the headlines and considering the humanity of those at the center of the storm. What do you think of James O'Brien's response? Does it change how you view Meghan and Harry? Let us know in the comments below.